Oh man, it's hot today, isn't it? Just hooked up to the trailer. I would open the door, but look how loud it is. Because of that guy right there. But let's go take pictures. We're gonna take pictures of the damage, fuel up and head out. We're headed to LA and we're gonna spend the night up there. Let's go. And so this trailer is pretty messed up. Look at stuff like this. You know, all of that, those dents, you'll notice on these trailers, the dents are always near the back area of the trailer, the middle to the back. That's because a lot of drivers, when they dock in, they, you know what I mean? Like they really slam against whatever dock they're gonna be getting into, like that. Look, it's a straight dent right there. It goes all the way up there. That's straight damage right there. So when you're backing into a dock, something like that, you wanna like be gentle. You know what I mean? You really wanna ride your brake when you're going into these docks. Because if you're going into the dock at a good speed, you know what I mean? You hit the dock real hard, you're gonna end up looking like that. You do that enough, they're gonna can you. All right, just fueled up. I'm gonna send these macros out, and we are gone, man. We're going to Santa Clarita first. And yes, there's no defects with my tractor. Let's go, baby. Man, look at that. Leaving Shafter, I get caked with bugs, dude. So I'm sleeping here in Santa Clarita. So I'm actually gonna go on sleeper right now here in the dock. That way I can get up tomorrow and head out to LA. I gotta go do a live load. So while I'm getting unloaded, I'll be right on sleeper berth. And you could use creep mode to go park over there. As long as you don't go over 4 miles an hour, you'll still be on sleeper. That way you wake up in the morning and you're not rushed. You know, your 10-hour will be up earlier. That's just a little trick in case you don't know. That way you can make your appointment on time. Right. Locked up. Let's go. Let's go get unloaded. The store is still open, so I'm gonna walk in the front. Yeah. So what happens when you do backhauls? Backhauls are when you go somewhere, get unloaded, then you take that empty trailer to a facility, warehouse, a shipper. They load it and you go back to where you came from, back to your distribution center that you're working out of, or wherever your next drop. And when you're doing local, they like to schedule it real tight. Like they'll send you out 6, 7 at night, send you out like a 4-hour trip, and then expect you to be in Los Angeles the next day, like at 1, when you got to do this 10-hour sleeper. So one thing you could do is put yourself on sleeper while you're getting unloaded, and then creep to a parking space in the parking lot. That way the next day you're on time. Because if you show up late to these backhauls, you can get hit with a late fee, and the company will pay it. It'll come out of your paycheck, but then they'll reimburse you again. But there's no need to do that. If you know how to work your hours of service, you should know how to hustle your hours of service. Your 10-hour sleeper, you got to know how to play the system. That way the system don't play you. Especially if you get bonus money for being on time to your drops and your live loads or your dropping hooks. You can't let that 10-hour service rule get in the way. I mean, 10-hour service. Yeah, that 10-hour sleeper berth rule get in the way, because it can, dude. We're going pretty quick. So this truck's gonna get unloaded pretty fast. So I parallel parked it over here. What I did was I came out of the dock over there, flipped it, put my nose over there like I was leaving, and then just backed it in. Always be sure to get out and look when you're doing this, even if you think you're a professional. There's a car parked right behind me. Yeah, get out and look, dude. It's not worth your job. We're gonna keep this vlog going tomorrow. We gotta go to Vernon tomorrow. Is that a crackhead? No. There's no crackheads in Santa Clarita. I've never seen any homeless people up here in Santa Clarita. But, yep, we gotta wake up tomorrow and go to LA.
Chocolate! 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 Chocolate!
Alright, so that was that. Just woke up right here in Santa Clarita. We gotta go to LA, like I said. I'm gonna try to take off early because I know how that traffic can be, especially during the week. So that's what we got going on right now. Let's go. So I just did my circle check. The truck's all good. I'm gonna pre-trip this route and head out. Let's go to LA, dude. We gotta get there. All right, so I made it to my pickup. I'm about 2 hours early. And I'm about to go take the lock off the door. Driving over here, the roads are really tight. I felt like I wasn't even supposed to be around here, but we're around the port, the Los Angeles rail yard. Not the port, but the rail yards. So all these clearances are good enough for trucks, but man, they look tight and there's no signs. Like, I went through like 3 different clearances with no height signs. They just kicked me off the property because I'm here too early and they're not ready for me yet. So I gotta go park. I hope I can find parking. Because, man, it's, like I said, it's tight around here, man. So I found parking pretty much directly across the street. I got lucky that there was a spot open right here. Yeah, dude, it's tight around here. When you drive around here in a 53-footer, especially with these clearances, man, you almost feel like you're going to hit everywhere you go. I'm going to skateboard up the block to see if there's any parking up the street, because my butt, I'm kind of blocking the lane right there. This is all red. I think I'm good where I'm at, honestly. It doesn't look like there's any more parking. Yeah, honestly, man, where I'm at, that's as good as I'm gonna get it. Unless if I park there. Yeah, nah, I think I'm good where I'm at, honestly. This is what it is, man. See, this is why it's a good idea to invest your money into different income streams. That way, one day, you don't gotta go through all this nonsense for money. At the end of the day, that's what we're all out here doing. We're all out here just trying to get money, dealing with all this BS. See what I mean? I'm kind of in the way. I guess I could scoot up a little bit. I could scoot up a wee bit, but not too much to where I'm gonna hit something when I leave. I'll scoot up a little bit, that's the best I can do. Well, I got lucky. That other truck that was in front of me took off, so I'm good for now. I'm not blocking anyone now. Man, I was out there parked for not even like 20 minutes just for them to call me to come back. I was right there where Hernandez is. Now I'm one door over. Let's go check in. I'm sure it was miscommunication because the guy that called me seemed a little ticked off about it. Ain't my problem. Yeah, dude, it's busy in here. So that's it. I guess they'll come and tell me when I'm done. Or when they're done. Dude, my paperwork's like a bounce. I'm ready to bounce already. Man, I'm here in Stevenson Ranch. I couldn't even vlog after I was done getting loaded. It was so busy, I just had to bounce. I'm parked in the back. Check this out. I had to park in the back of the shopping center. There was no parking closer to the sandwich shop across the street, so I had to come to the back. I don't like coming to the back of places because I always feel like someone's gonna break into my truck. It is what it is. Right, so I'm gonna record this again because it was way too loud and windy on my skateboard. If you're a truck driver at a mega carrier, and this is probably the case at some smaller companies, do you ever feel like there's some rivalry between the dispatchers, the folks in the office, maybe including your DM, and the drivers? If you ever feel like that, I'll tell you why that may be the case. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is us drivers, we tend to make more money than dispatchers at the end of the day. And not just that, the dispatchers are trained by the DM, the manager, the supervisor, or whatever, the account managers. that their job every day is to get as many loads out as possible, hook or crook. So many dispatchers, they're working day to day, right? They might put you on a load that's not going to get you back 2 or 3 days later, and those other days they still got to get as many loads out as possible. And some of those loads, us drivers know, aren't profitable, right? Will hurt our paycheck, because sometimes they might not want to add layover pay, or it just might be a route the way that your account's set up where it just doesn't pay you that good. And here's the thing, even on routes that don't pay you that good, if you work overtime, you could still most likely make more money than that dispatcher, even by doing routes that you don't want to do, that aren't profitable to you. And trust me, these dispatchers, they're the ones who add on your layover pay. They're the ones who might add on something like a trailer move or a drop and hook pay onto your route. And they could see the pay scale chart, right? And trust me, if they're only making like $40,000, $50,000 a year, you could see this. You could look up how much a dispatcher at a mega carrier gets paid on Glassdoor or on any of these, websites that shows you how much a job pays. If you're making 40 grand a year and your job is to give out loads every day to these truck drivers who are making double that, trust me, they're looking at how much you're getting paid. And a lot of these dispatchers work long hours, 8, sometimes 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours. And I've heard sometimes that some of these dispatchers got to fight to get their correct overtime pay. While us drivers, even on a load that might not be profitable, we could still outpace them on pay. That's for a reason. There's a reason for that. It's because a CDL holder is someone who has a trade, is a skilled worker, right? Never forget your job, what you're doing. You're hauling this thing, all right? This is a freaking office building on wheels. And that's not to say that we're better than them or anything like that, but just think of it. They want to give me a route that I know I can make double doing another route that I know they have right there in the office, but they just need me to do this for whatever reason. And I say no, and I'm complaining with them, and I'm trying to get them to add layover pay or put something extra to make it worth it, while they're making half of what I make, even if I were to take that bad route. So you could see how they can get kind of ticked off, like, dude, you're still going to make $1,000 a week. You're still going to make $1,500, $1,800 a week, or whatever it is, dude. You see what I mean? And on top of that, no one likes being at work. And I could bet that working in an office with the same people every day, I'm sure they get into it, right? I'm sure things happen. We're not in the office all day. We're on the road. We're outside all day. So just remember that. If you ever feel like your dispatcher is in a bad mood, if you ever feel like it's you versus them, don't take it personal. It's not you. It is not you. And for whatever reason, not everyone wants to be a truck driver. Not everyone has a trade. Not everyone wants to have a trade. They might be in a situation to where their obligations with their kids or whatever is such that they don't have time to go to a trade school. They just got to get a job and pay bills. Okay? So if you ever get into it with your dispatcher and you feel like they're just being kind of an asshole, don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. Just remember that. Back in the yard, it's hot out here, boy. Man, it is hot today, man. Oh, man. I tell you what, I was in LA. It was like in the 70s. It says it's 102 right now. Check that out. 102 degrees out here. Isn't that wonderful? I'll tell you what, if you're ever miserable, if you're tired of being somewhere, that's when you'll make a change. I'm tired of being in the Central Valley. I've been here for too long. It's time to go. And with that being said, smash that like button, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all have a good one.